It's your boy Matt. It is currently the 18th of January 2026. This is a personal update. So I understand that at the moment I'm being kind of getting different signals through different memes that I'm being sent. That's not a weird psychotic thing. It's part of a game we've been playing between myself and some friends. It's a very legitimate thing. It's not some psychotic issue. It's part of a community art project called Tac0, where we're creating a meme in the social science sense rather than the how do you put it? Rather than memes that have already been created as a form of trying to generate ideology, and we're trying to find a way to create the appropriate associations to be able to maintain a group of people and develop on the idea. The main point is to keep Taco functioning, because that's the name of the project, as a meme in existence. What the actual content of that meme can change. The purpose is to maintain the meme so that it can be used to mobilize people. The purpose of that mobilization is for political action, which was originally intended to help maintain the system of responsible government, which is the idea that we have the people answer to the government through a hierarchy. But it's also something that I've just fucking created, and I'm also a public figure. And as the person who engineered the meme, I also get, and this is what I do for a fucking living, because remember, I'm a social scientist, I'm allowed to make fucking money from my work. I also trying to use it as a fucking business to help myself and some friends get up, right? It's because it's also the only way it's sustainable, because you need to have people making money from it. You need to be able to have a business ecosystem. You need to be able to incentivize production and create, not just incentivize production, but like create incentives for people to do work in it. Otherwise, things just fade away. There needs to be it needs to be able to generate a market for itself. At least that's the hope. Think of it like a newspaper, because that's the kind of business it is. We're in the media journalism business, and while it is a tool designed to fulfill this originally that aim, and I've since had to use it to fulfill different aims and also get myself out of some truly terrible situations, because I've had to fight actual fascists in our government. I've had to deal with all these issues with ideology and different things, and I've had to become not just myself, but use the meme and all the behaviors around the meme, which I have a bureaucracy which is intended, and leadership structure who are hopefully doing that work. But at the same time, I understand it's also been taken over by government, or largely interfered with by government. Now, I know I'm being signaled at this moment to actually, I wouldn't say it's been taken over. I'd say that I'm aware I have had so many incursions and have been able to keep off all the incursions for such a long time, and been able to maintain direction of it for such a long time, that I am not convinced to say that I do not have control over, or do not have people, or at least soft power, or existing continued collaborative relationships, which are always intended to be beneficial for both people. Okay, Like I grew up with an exceedingly religious kind of orientation, and violating the social norms I grew up with, I find it difficult. So for me, like it's I'm trying very hard to make things work out for people, and when there's been people who I've tried who things have been difficult for or have not worked out for, understand that I sincerely wish to lift you up. Okay, that's what I'm saying. But returning to uh, the my personal update and the purpose and what this video was about, I am like I understand that there's been a meme around Delta, and that has different connotations. And I understand Delta forces. I understand the nature of internet things, and a lot of things are backhanded compliments. So I take Delta and I say, well, okay, like that's me. I'm Delta because I'm the opposite. Like whatever Alpha is, I don't think that's necessarily a great thing to be about all the time. Although being an alpha meathead's a lot of fun, and I do enjoy that kind of shit sometimes. But I suppose the other side of things is I may be having to work for the government, and I'm trying to avoid that. And I've been trying to avoid it for a very long time. And my conceptualization may be at this point that because I have the ability to mobilize things, and it may be also because, and I think they're scared of me because I've been able to be so successful in sort of influencing their behavior. And that's been done politically and tactly. And in doing that, I think they may see me as a threat, as like a either legitimate threat or is it like an asset, and not so like a threat in the sense that regardless if I have malcontent or am acting to damage them, because I have the capability to influence their behavior, and which to them is a variable which they don't want to have on the table strategically. They don't want to have another player, and they don't want to have another, and they don't want to have just a variable which they need to calculate in their heads. So I think there's going to be an attempt, there is an attempt to bring me into government. Now, I have been shifted, made to squirt all kinds of weird shit. At this point, my understanding is that I have been, and this is not meant, this is like, it's not meant to be an abrasive thing to say, but I think I have been victorious over a series of issues in ASD and Army and Defence and these things. And I think I have been acknowledged by the people in authority that I have been in the right, and that my analysis is accurate, valuable, and has created a large shaping in government policy and the running of these institutions. I am really kind of just at a point where I still want an outright explanation, and I don't like being dragged on and made to squirt or whatever it is. I think because I may have done this, there's now like I have skills which are desirable to them, maybe. but I still want to be able to make my decisions, and I don't like being forced into this thing. I think because these people have an agenda with me, it is difficult to have a conversation where the conversation is like, okay, how do we live alongside each other? I think they're trying to solve the problem by having me be them. And I'm not, as I've said before, I haven't wanted to do that. But like, it looks like I may, there's not, I don't think they want to give me a choice about these things. And that's why I have been continuously abused now, because it's not that I am actively doing anything wrong. Well, that's previously what they've thought they've been doing. I think we've come to the end of the conceptualization of the authorities that I am the fucking problem. Okay, I think they've fucking finally got that in their heads, and they've understood what I've been doing and why I've needed to do it. Right? I think they've gotten to that point now. And now they're stopping, they're pausing, and they're reflecting, like, what the fuck do we do with this thing here, this person? We've just had all these problems. And I've said many times, what's just being required is to leave me alone, provide me due process, and give me a briefing about what's going on through a lawyer. It's not... Yeah. So the big thing for me is that where I go and what I do, because I am resistant, but I'm not, like, there would be situations where I would take government work, but it's not, I would much, like, really not kind of in thinking. I would not accept changing from my work, but it's also better run privately, and it has to be run privately, because otherwise you can't build up the network of incentives, and everything about what makes Tac0 function is what is not government. And as the person who created this thing and has been driving the incentives and built everything around it, it is important to me that it remains private and I maintain my ownership over my work. And if it isn't, it's going to struggle to function. And what you'll continue to do is continue to practice a form of slavery where a person has been so thoroughly abused and had their life annihilated, and psychology altered into someone who is genuinely this dangerous. Because I didn't start off like this. Right? Because of this, because of the situations they have placed on them and the abuse which came afterwards. Okay, so I would very much like to have my conversation with a lawyer. I'd very much like this to be formally closed. The way I would do it if I were the government is I would contact legal aid and then have legal aid contact me via a letter to my house. And that's the best way that we can resolve this and begin the process of having conversations. I'm fairly certain that the way that things have been worked is that there's been a weight on me to commit a certain behaviour, because there's an idea that I don't have capacity, or if I am a psych or someone, I should be able to fix myself up. I have been able to deal with being an enemy of the state for a long period of time, okay? And I got this outcome. So don't start talking to me about how to use psychological techniques or skill as a person who at this time is registered as a junior psychologist. Like and that I should have the skills be able to get myself up independently. This has been a terrible abuse of authority by the government, by the executive side of our government. And at this point, there should be a little bit of a flick of a switch in some manager, in some person in that authority to go make that call to legal aid, explain the situation, give that lawyer a briefing, and then have that lawyer brief me. That's how I would finish the situation and make contact and sort this whole mess out, and give me a briefing about what's been going on, and then see if and hopefully just help me sort of land somewhere here. Because there hasn't been, like, I'm still confused why it's still all spinning. Like, why the fuck am I in this situation? Like, why can't I fucking just get a fucking payment for my work? It's still fucking scrambled. It's ridiculous. There's no moral justification for it at this point. Have a lovely day.